and communications, things like that.
New move to increase security for the electoral vote count after the November election.
The Secret Service says it will dramatically increase security precautions when Congress meets on January 6, 2025 to count states' electoral votes. The Department of Homeland Security will designate the date as a national special security event, which is the same level as inaugurations and political conventions. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Fetal mortality rates have reached a new low in the U.S., but there is some racial disparity. CBS's Alexander Tin.
The rate is down 4% from 2021 and marks yet another historic low for the United States. It comes as the gap is widening between black and white moms. Among black moms, there were more than 10 deaths for every 1,000 live births. That's more than double the rate of babies dying in pregnancies to white moms.
There's a scandal brewing in the UK over the cost and makeup of those bearskin caps worn by soldiers outside Buckingham Palace. The price of each has soared 30% to $2,600. PETA pointing out they've become not only an ethical but a financial issue. Now the Ministry of Defense says it's exploring faux fur alternatives if they stand up to safety and durability standards. This is CBS.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
And good morning and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic, welcome to a Thursday, the 12th day of the month as you wake up and get going with us again this morning. And good morning to you, Tyson.
And a good morning, Mike Will, as we get set for another installment of Huddle Up this morning. And we've got some exciting, as they call it in the open, interesting interviews. I had a chance to meet for the first time Courtney Davis, the co-owner of the From Bar. She'll join us coming up a little bit later on the program as we get set to discuss a really fun event that they've been putting on this summer, the Sounds of Summer concert series. It's happening downtown Hastings, and one of my good friends, I've had the chance to catch up with him a couple different times throughout his musical career for some interviews. Rascal Martinez is going to be the headliner tonight, playing in front of the From Bar from 5 until 7, so should be a good show. We'll talk much more about it in the local news segment side of things, and much more about it later on in the program when we sit down with Courtney Davis. So that conversation all coming up on Huddle Up, as well as your local sports and local news, local weather. We do it right. We do it right here on Huddle Up.
Yeah, a great way to start your day, and you can listen to us a variety of ways. Obviously, the traditional ways on Extreme Sports. You can listen to us online at x-streamsports.com. Listen to us on your smartphone with our free mobile app. You can listen to us on your Alexa speaker. You can listen to us as well on Roku. Also see us on Roku. And we're also on Facebook Live now. So a lot of ways that you can begin your day the right way.
You missed one. I think Twitch also involved. We are all over the place here on Extreme Sports. And everything that we have done, we've continually added. As you see today, brand new camera here on the west side of Burlington Studios, as we finally got this baby up and running. So exciting. Basically anywhere you are, we want to also be, and so we are adding constantly to the mix of ways that you can watch, ways you can listen, ways you can interact as well. I've got the Facebook feed pulled up over to my left, so if there's comments that come on throughout the show, we'll certainly pass those along, and we can interact. We can interact with you guys here on the show, too. We just don't want to hog the mics. We want your voices heard. If you've got a topic you want to sound off on, feel free to throw her on the Facebook comments. I'll pull off, and we'll dive into those, too. But let's start off our day like we always do. Mike, I know you got a big calendar of events and things that are going on. So what do we got going on this Thursday?
It's a typical boring day.
Is this another employee-boss exchange?
Not for the third day in a row. What do we have on the list today? We have National School Picture Day today. Remember those school pictures that we took back in elementary schools? Then you pull them out like 30 years later and say, God, I looked like a dork.
You look like a dork. And why did you tell me to go all the way up to my top button on the collar? And it never failed. It never failed. There would always be as clean as Mom tried to get me out the door on school picture day. I would either A, fall in a puddle, B, get dirty by playing football in the morning with the boys, or C, develop some sort of annoying looking zit like on your cheek just in time for school picture day, right in time for oh God, oh bless his heart, and R.I.P. Lauren Winklebauer was our school photographer, and he would always give me crap about the zits, and he's like, that one pulled up just in time for picture day, didn't it? I said, it sure did.
Well, and then Mom used to dress you in such weird outfits when you especially in elementary school. Mommy, why'd you dress me like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, there was a couple times where she missed the memo because I didn't tell her about school pictures, and so I went out the door like I normally do. And she got frustrated because there would be like just a gray sweater, all these great school pictures of me all dressed up. I think fourth grade is just this gray long sleeve shirt. They missed the memo that it was school picture day. Didn't happen again. I had to dress up for the rest of my childhood.
That was probably one of your better pictures you took, though.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's me.
What else is going on for the 12th day? It's Are You Okay Day today.
You okay?
Are you okay?
I'm
good.
good.
I'm doing good. We're doing fine.
Doing great.
So, check that box. We're all right. National Police Women's Day today. National Day of Encouragement. National Chocolate Milkshake Day today.
I encourage you to go get a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Twist my arm, Mike. That sounds like a real arm twister.
Well, like I said, it's kind of a boring day. Not a whole lot going on for September 12th, but we do encourage you to start your day the right way. Get out the door.
I'm not going to break into the milkshake song for anyone who's watching or listening. Nope, we're not breaking into the milkshake song.
Not at this time of the day. Going to be talking some Husker football again today. I always hate Thursdays because not a lot of teams play on Wednesday. There's a little college soccer on Wednesday, but the high school teams, for the most part, it's not a big activity day and not a big activity day in the major college scene. So it's just kind of a boring start here to the day, but it really gets started here on Thursday. There is NFL football tonight, Buffalo and Miami. Did you find a place to watch it? Since you're too cheap to get Amazon Prime.
Yeah, out of all of these streams that I spend money on and all of the streams that you just hit okay and you don't even really think about it and you do the direct withdrawals and all the money that's going into the TV universe and I can't pony up for Amazon Prime, yeah, that's you got to cut something. I'll find a place to watch it. I got no fear. I have buddies that have buddies that want to mock me if we lose to the Dolphins. So, yeah, I'll find a place.
Buffalo and Miami. What's the line? I haven't even seen the line tonight.
I was like, what, 5?
5 Miami.
I haven't looked at it in a second.
Being played in Miami. Both teams won the opening weekend.
Barely.
I think it's somewhere around 5. Are you checking?
I am checking. Oh, no, there's a 5 in there. But it's a Miami at a 1.5-point favorite at home.
I like that.
Ew.
I like that. I like Miami. 1.5 is all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't do it. It's like betting the Huskers. Either way, I'm going to be disappointed. I can't do it. I can't bet on my favorite teams. I just got to cheer for one.
So you think Buffalo can do it in Miami tonight? Or you just
not after I saw that line.
Or you're just
now I'll just be happy with a win. Now I'll be happy with like a field goal victory.
Why did you
one out?
Did you think Buffalo was going to be the favorite down there?
Josh Allen is Josh Allen, man.
We got Tua.
Josh Allen is Josh Allen.
Miami has Tua.
When he goes into Josh Allen mode, the Bills can win games. They don't have a defense. That's the problem. The Buffalo does not have a defense. That got exposed against the Cardinals. So
Miami
that's
does.
Swaying the line. Yeah, they do.
Miami has a defense, and they got Tua.
And they got Tyreek. Who's going to catch Tyreek Hill tonight? Oh, boy.
Maybe.
Long game.
Hopefully his day gets started a lot better than it did last Sunday when he got.
One can only hope for Tyreek Hill and Tyreek Hill fantasy owners that his day gets off to a little bit better start. I might just go to work. I might just go to work and not watch it at all.
I doubt it.
That looks like it could be a sad game.
So Miami and
disappointed.
Buffalo tonight, NFL football. There's also some high school football going on tonight when you play the Thursday games. Amherst at Centura. Grand Island is at Lincoln East tonight. Kearney is playing at Millard South. Some of the area teams that will be involved with Thursday night football this week.
There you go.
All right, 7:08. Let's get our first check on news.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start with news out of Husker Harvest Days, where Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen joined state lawmakers at Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island yesterday to hold a formal bill signing ceremony for 3 bills passed in the legislature this year, 2 of which impact foreign ownership of the state's ag land. Pillen also highlighted a measure to tighten land ownership protections around military installations such as Offutt Air Force Base. On the Health Watch, the first cases of the West Nile virus have been detected within the Two Rivers Public Health Department. That district covers Buffalo, Dawson, Franklin, Gosper, Harlan, Kearney, and Phelps counties. To date, there have been fewer human cases of the West Nile virus reported in 2024 than a year ago. Health officials continue to preach prevention tactics against mosquitoes as the best defense for the virus that can pose health complications for about 1 out of every 5 adults. Meanwhile, downtown Hastings will be filled with music and fun this evening with live music from Rascal Martinez. It's all part of the Sounds of Summer concert series that wraps up tonight in front of the Fromm Bar. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the show starts at 7. There will be food, drinks, and fun. Lawn chairs highly encouraged. Joyride Pedal Company will also be downtown tonight as part of the festivities, which we will hear in much more detail later this morning as Courtney Davis, the co-owner of the Fromm Bar, will join us on Huddle Up. Meanwhile, Central Community College has been recognized as a top performer in the 2024 Sustainable Campus Index, securing the top spot in energy and 5th place overall internationally among associate institutions. The dedicated team at the Sustainability Department continually shares their efforts, such as picking up food waste for composting, managing native pollinator gardens, reducing paper usage, and promoting efficient and renewable energy usage. And a Nebraska State Trooper and K-9 have received a national honor for their work with the Nebraska State Patrol SWAT team. Trooper Austin Donner and K-9 Tilt were awarded the K-9 SWAT Deployment Award by the National Tactical Officers Association. That presentation was made Monday at their annual conference held in Kansas City. We'll swing things over to Mike for a check on sports.
Well, the Nebraska football team continues preparations for Saturday's game with Northern Iowa. Through 2 games, the Huskers have shown the ability to control the clock with a balanced offensive attack. Nebraska is averaging 186 yards per game on the ground while throwing for 234.5 yards per game. And on defense, the Black Shirts, they're locked in. They're giving up only about 36 yards per game rushing, while holding both opponents at 10 points or less. Kickoff for the game on Saturday will be at 6:30 at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. You can see it on BTN. The Nebraska volleyball team will host the Nebraska Classic this weekend. The Huskers will play Arizona State on Friday at 7 and then will face Wichita State on Saturday at 2. The Nebraska women's soccer team will open the conference season tonight at Iowa. The Huskers are 3-3 on the season. The Hawkeyes are 4-0-2. Game time will be at 7. The Nebraska baseball team has received a commitment from the son of a former pitcher of the Creighton Blue Jays. Colton Remick committed to the Huskers yesterday. Remick is a right-handed pitcher who can also play in the infield and the outfield. The 2026 recruit was also receiving interest from Creighton, Minnesota, and Southern Illinois. He's considered to be the number 10 recruit in his class in the state of Iowa. His father was an outfielder and a left-handed pitcher for the Blue Jays from 2007 to 2010. Hastings College football team will face Briar Cliff on Saturday at Lloyd Wilson Field. The Broncos are 0-2 in the season. After dropping games to Peru State and Northwestern, Hastings has struggled on offense, to say the least. They're averaging only 216 yards per game, which includes only 121 yards through the air. The Broncos are averaging only 14 points per game. Kickoff will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Pre-game coverage begins at 12 o'clock noon here on Extreme Sports. Hastings College men's soccer team lost to Kansas Wesleyan 2-1 last night. Broncos are now 1-5 on the season. The women's team, they beat Ottawa of Kansas 1-0. The Broncos are now 4-1-1. Both teams will play host to Tabor on Saturday. High school football tonight, as I mentioned, Amherst will play at Centura. Grand Island is on the road at Lincoln East. Kearney will play at Millard South tonight. Tomorrow night, Gothenburg is at Adams Central. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 6:45. St. Cecilia will play host to Kearney Catholic. Hastings High will play at Bennington tomorrow. And over on Extreme Sports 2 tomorrow night, Kennesaw will take on BDS. High school softball action today. Highway 6 will play at York. In volleyball, Hastings High will host Gretna. St. Cecilia will be at Gibbon. Adams Central will host Kearney Catholic. The New York Yankees beat Kansas City 4-3 last night. The Royals now 80-67 on the season. Kansas City will open up a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates on Friday. First pitch will be at 5:40. That's a check on sports this morning. It's now 7:14 at Extreme Sports.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. Highs around 86 today. Under clear skies, south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows around 62 tonight, clear skies. Tomorrow, highs around 86. Low 80s Saturday with a chance for scattered storms. Warmer Sunday with highs in the mid-80s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
Mike Will, Tyson Urbanik, you're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Thursday, the 12th day of September. So weather is cooperating. I like these 70s and 80-degree temps here.
Yeah, hang around in the 70s and 80s, and maybe we can just take this little beautiful 10-day stretch of fall and keep her carrying on. Normally, you know how Nebraska is, right? You get like 10 days of fall, and then boom, winter, and it's freezing cold. So hopefully, with this little stretch continues. You mentioned the Royals game last night. That was the watch. That was the most exciting thing on television last night. Jazz Chisholm with the walk-off home run for the Pinstripes, and the Yankees pick up that victory over Kansas City. But I was talking with a Royals fan yesterday, and it was, the joke kind of being that Kansas City had to cancel some of their October plans to head south and hit up the golf courses because this is a more than likely a postseason team, and good on KC. They were not given a lot of love from the pundits, from the experts in baseball, if you will. Had plenty of good young talent with MJ, Bobby Witt, Vinny, of course, got put on the shelf on the 60-day disabled list, and so that was a tough blow for them on the injury front. But Miguel Garcia had come through. Their pitching has been really the surprising thing for me, taking guys like Michael Wacha and extending his career, and all he's ever done has really been successful. It was a gut-wrenching when St. Louis cut him over to San Diego, and then San Diego thought he was old, washed up, and couldn't go anymore. KC says, hey, why don't you come over here, pitch for the Royals? He's had a stellar season in the American League, and Kansas City sitting around the 90 percentile in terms of playoff possibilities. You look down the list at the wild card, man, I don't see a Seattle making a push. I don't see Detroit getting enough from their young lineup to make a push at Kansas City for that last wild card spot, or even Minnesota, who's behind KC. So you're sitting pretty good, Royals fans, if you're looking for some postseason baseball. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Show Me State in St. Louis, things are looking bleak. Cardinals were able to officially eliminate the Reds from playoff contention, but they have a less than 1% chance. I know we like to say sometimes we go into ball games, there's a 0% chance, Mike, that it's going to happen. They're pretty close to a 0% chance right now in St. Louis, but we'll continue to support my Redbirds. The Cubs jumped them in the standings, so now we've even got more wood to chop. Realistically, I think the only thing that we're going to be paying attention to as baseball fans down the stretch in terms of that postseason push, a thick battle right now on the NL East for that last playoff spot. The Mets and Braves continue to change spots seemingly game by game. I know there's a lot of Braves fans in the area, a lot of Braves fans here of the show that pick us up. So Atlanta and the New York Metropolitans appear to be the only two teams that I could realistically see, unless somebody makes a remarkable 10-game winning streak stretch. They're the only two teams that I could see that we have to keep our eyes on for that last playoff spot.
I still think the baseball season is way too long. I understand. I understand why they have to play so many games, but I still think it's way too long because once we get to the postseason, it gets buried in the sports scene. College football is well underway. Pro football is well underway, and it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. You go to a sports bar and you watch baseball. You got to say, hey, there's a baseball game. Oh, there is? I got 17 college football games up. Or we're watching Sunday Ticket. And it just kind of gets lost in the sports scene. I think it's way too long. They can probably cut off about, 40 games?
Or start earlier. Take that 2-month-long stretch of spring training that you do and start the season earlier so that it finishes by Labor Day. Realistically, the 7th game of the World Series should be done on Labor Day weekend.
I agree.
Or the Labor Day holiday, because I'm with you. And as much as a baseball guy as I am, and you're not going to find maybe a handful of more passionate baseball guys around the area. I mean, I eat, sleep, and drink this stuff all summer long. By the time Husker football kicks off, I'm fully committed and I'm on the other side of the ship. I was joking with a friend the other day who, we were texting back and forth and I was hammering and yammering about the Colorado game and he showed me a picture. He was watching baseball and I go, "You doofus, what are you doing? It's Nebraska, Colorado. We don't care about baseball anymore." And from a Midwestern fan base, obviously it's not going to be the same if you've got baseball in your metropolitan area. But if you're a Midwestern fan that doesn't have a ball club within a realistic driving distance, you don't care. You don't care once college football starts up. So I'm with you, but I'm saying instead of shortening the schedule, shorten spring training, start earlier, and finish earlier. Finish by Labor Day.
A lot of the cities, you can't start any earlier than we already are weather-wise. So are you proposing that we play the first part of the Major League Baseball season down south and not have home field advantage in some of those games?
I am proposing that maybe we put on some snowshoes and slide around in the snow. Baseball player, we always say rain. Obviously, that is not conditions that you'd like to play in. I can't see baseball being played in the snow, but God, that would be fun to watch, wouldn't it? Just a snow game. We've seen a couple of times, like where you remember the opening day several years ago in Detroit when there was a snowstorm and Miguel Cabrera stops on second because he didn't even know if he hit a home run because it was snowing so bad. So yeah, I get it. Do we start the season down south? Your owners are never going to go for that. You have no ticket revenue coming in to your stadium. You're in a bind.
So that's not going to fly.
Well,
Great, another great idea. That's not probably going to fly.
It's probably not going to go take off. No.
Let's see what else is going on in sports. 4 schools are expected to announce today that they are leaving the Mountain West Conference to join the Pac-12, beginning with the 2026-2027 academic year. Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State are going to be joining Oregon State and Washington State in the newly formed conference. Mountain West bylaws require departing schools to pay an exit fee of roughly $18 million per school with a 2 years notice and $36 million with 1 year's notice. So everybody thought the Pac-12 was done. They are rising from the ashes. And Oregon State and Washington State going to be joined by Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State. Must have to be a state to get into the Pac-12. Everybody's state. Everything is state.
Yeah, with those powerhouses, I mean, go ahead and give New Mexico State a call. I think Idaho State's waiting to play football somewhere. It won't ever get back to a Power 5, right? There's no way the Pac-12 or Pac-2 or Pac-6 or whatever they're going to call it, there's no way they get back to Power 5 status, right?
They have to add 2 more schools. They have there's a dead period here where they have to be up to a certain level by some time to be considered a Power 5 or to get into the new playoff system or whatever. I was reading some stuff. They have to add 2 more schools. So after these 4 commit today, expect the Pac-12 to go after 2 more schools to get up to that limit to get to that status so they can have some play in the college football playoff system.
Some play. And at some point, like, the schools you add actually have to be powerful to be considered a Power 5. The rise and fall of Boise, like, they're no longer the Boise State name that we had back in circa 2014 when they were constantly in contention and always one of the best of the rest. They no longer have that pull anymore. None of those teams are teams like I'm like, ooh, I bet they would be really good Power 5 schools and a good contender for a BCS playoff spot. Give me a big splash. Give me a big fish.
Any of those teams any good in any sport? Boise State, like you said, they were good at football a couple of years ago. They're just so-so now. Mm-hmm. Colorado State, they good at anything?
They have made, maybe one NCAA tournament appearance in basketball under Tim Miles. So, no.
San Diego State?
San Diego State has not been good since Marshall Faulk was the running back there. That was before the year 2000.
I think baseball, they're all right.
Oh, didn't they do good in basketball? Didn't they have a run, San Diego State, a couple years ago, if memory serves me correct? I think San Diego State had a run in basketball.
So they might be all right in basketball.
They might be okay.
Fresno State, they're good at baseball.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the Huskers have played out there.
Good baseball program.
I wouldn't say great. They're okay.
Good baseball program.
What else are they good at?
Good
question.
Their field has red and white checkers on it. I know that.
Boise State's is blue.
Boise State's got blue turf.
Yeah, blue turf.
And Washington State.
Then you got Oregon State and Washington State, who were just they were the teams that were left after everybody else had departed. You had Oregon State and Washington State. Oh, now we got some new friends coming in.
Nobody wants us. They wanted Cal. The ACC wanted Cal over you. What's that make you feel like?
So anyway, they're back up to 6 in the Pac-12. So the Big Ten has like 18 teams in the Big Ten. The Pac-12 is now back up to 6. And then I expect them to get a couple of more here in the next month or so.
At what point do you rename the conferences to make sense?
Yeah. Why is the Big Ten got 18 teams and we need to come up with a new name?
I agree.
And what would it be? We can't make it a regional name because
it is the Continental Conference. Yeah. We go from Piscataway, New Jersey, all the way to southern Los Angeles. We are the Continental Conference. But you're trying to explain like conferences to like your grandson, or we're trying to explain it to somebody that's getting into football, and you're like, well, there's the Big Ten. We have 18 teams, and they look at you like the double blink, and they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, I know it doesn't, and it never did. But here's the Big Ten with 18 teams. SEC's got 16. They used to have 14, but now they have 16. ACC used to have 12. Now they have 16 teams. It's a circus every year when this conference realignment starts. But I think you just rename your conferences entirely.
Then
everybody across the board.
Then everybody would be confused.
But we all got to start from somewhere.
Yeah, I have a hard enough time right now figuring out what teams play in what conference.
There's 2 teams in the Pac-12. Just erase the one. Make Pac-2.
But now Boise State, I was always used to going to the Mountain West. Now they're not there. Now what conference? Oh, yeah, the Pac-12. Where does USC playing? Oh, yeah.
You almost have to have an old rollout map to try to figure out where these conferences are going and the realignments that are happening. All I know is that we're playing in the Big Ten, and
it's tough.
All I know is that we don't play everybody in the Big Ten. All I know is there's no longer divisions, and it's a lot different than it was 4 years ago.
So basically, you're trying to get in the top 2. That's what you're trying to do.
You just want to get to the top 2.
And then you play
rise to the top of the conference.
Yeah, Big Ten championship ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And chances are you'll be in the playoff. Get to the top
12
2.
teams, expansion. Excited?
Sharon Moore is in the news today.
Oh.
The coach at Michigan. He coached the first 2 games without a contract. They reached a contract deal with him yesterday after he coached his first 2 games of the season without a contract. I wouldn't have done that.
No.
They've been hammering out his contract. Of course, he took over for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to work on his contract. They first proposed this evidently back in January, and they just got around to signing the damn deal yesterday. Yeah, he coached the first 2 games of the season without a contract. I wouldn't have done that.
With that sounds like a horrible proposition. Yeah, you work for us for a couple weeks. We'll get you paid eventually. It just kind of determines.
You got
things.
a better agent than that.
Right.
You've been working for us for a couple of weeks, and you're going to get paid.
We got to get paid. We've got new toys to work with here. How do you do that? And then I wonder if the performance against Texas was reflectant upon the negotiating of the contract that they were working on. I mean, did they say originally like have a 7 in front of a number and then make an eraser after Texas made them look exposed Saturday? They might have erased one number.
He's not making that much money.
Sad.
It's 5 years, base salary of $500,000. Of course, he gets $5 million in additional compensation in year 1. But his base salary is $500,000. His salary and additional compensation would increase by 2% in the subsequent years with a $500,000 bonus for each year he remains as the head coach. So it's not a wow deal there at Michigan. They're 1-1. The Wolverines are 1-1 after losing to Texas last week, as Tyson knows, as part of his Blazing 5. 31-12 last week at home. The Wolverines, tough one this week. Michigan, very tough one this week. We'll be looking forward to this game. Mm-hmm. Michigan and Arkansas State. Maybe Arkansas State could join the Pac-12. Their state.
Their state. Appalachian State is a Pac-12. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Arkansas State is in the Sun Belt Conference along with Appalachian State. And Appalachian State was the team that upset Michigan with that famous block field goal. So I'm going to draw some circles.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, are we going to put them? They have made my list of qualifying teams for a potential Blazing 5.
I always say if
you're
gonna bet a team, you gotta know what their mascot is.
Red Wolves, Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Nebraska played them, didn't they?
We did. They played us pretty good, but we pulled away, I think, in that contest. Arkansas State Red Wolves. It could be the old. Remember the Star Wars? It's a trap. I think it's a trap game. Trap game for Michigan.
Could they appear
coming off a loss?
Could they appear in your Blazing 5 tomorrow?
The Red Wolves of Arkansas State. Stay tuned.
Is that even on the board tomorrow, or for the weekend? I don't even know if you can bet that game. You'll have to check. If you can't bet it nationally, you can't take them as a Blazing 5.
Correct.
However, I thought Nebraska would be off of the board this week, but I was told this week that the Huskers are.
We're on the board.
On the board.
On the board.
And I forgot what they told me. It was 20.
Wow, it is on the board. Arkansas State.
It is on the board?
Only 23.
Wow.
Michigan is a 23-point favorite against Arkansas State. That contest airing nationally, 11 o'clock, bright and early in the morning, Saturday on Big Ten Network.
So, where do they play that? Is that a home game from Michigan?
That is a home game from Michigan. Yeah, I don't think they're traveling to Julesburg, Arkansas.
But they're only given 23 at home?
After their performance against Texas, do you blame them?
Oh, that could be.
We are an evening contest. Are we on the board? 7 o'clock.
We got to be. That's what somebody told me.
I'm going to take a look here. Texas is 35-point favorites against UTSA, which is Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners. I know all these small colleges. We are on the board. 32.5 right now.
Ooh.
And overs are only 47.5.
So that means they're going to score 14 or 15 points.
We're going to score a lot of points, and they might score a touchdown or two.
What are we favored by?
32.5.
Wow.
Colorado is only a 7-point favorite against Colorado State. Oh, no. Everyone's jumping ship on poor Colorado.
Poor Dion. Poor Dion. I feel sorry for him.
Smallest violin.
Feel sorry for the guy. freak daddy. What else is? Anything else hit the board right quick out of your little
on the quick
side?
scan?
Yeah,
on the quick scan. Well, it's tonight. There's college football action. A straight up pick with Arizona State and Texas State. Texas State, they're a team that could join the Pac-12.
Texas State.
They're a state. Texas State, the Wildcats, I believe. Somewhere out of South Dallas. Yeah. Bobcats. They're Texas State Bobcats. That's right. Over-unders at 60. It's a straight pick. Both teams 2-0 on the season. And
never heard of Texas State.
Yeah, Texas State. They're a Sun Belt team as well, I believe. Then you got the South Alabama Jaguars, 0-2, taking on a FBS school, Northwestern State. South Alabama at 0-2 on the season is a dangerous 36.5-point favorite.
Those are the games we have to choose from
tonight.
Those
are your night games tonight. We have a 6:30 contest. Both games are 6:30. One's on ESPN Plus, the other straight up ESPN. That's where we can see the Texas State Bobcats tonight. If you can't watch the Bills on Prime,
what's the ESPN game tonight?
Arizona State and Texas State. You get a chance to get educated on the Bobcats.
And then the ESPN 2 game is
ESPN Plus. It's not even ESPN 2. They're throwing it on their streaming service. South Alabama and Northwestern State. Not Northwestern. Not the team out of Chicago. No, Northwestern State in Louisiana.
I just can't get fired up on the Thursday night college games because they're usually not any good. Even during the season, they're not any good.
Well, traditionally, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the Thursday games in the NFL have always been poor. Right?
Usually.
There's something that, it's kind of zany. Zany happens.
How can you say that? Look at tonight's Thursday night game. Buffalo
I know.
And Miami.
And that concerns me.
Traditionally, I think in the past couple of years, since they've included Thursday nights in the NFL package, the Thursday night games have been watch them or not. However, the Chiefs played on Thursday night a couple of times last year.
Yeah.
So.
Right? You throw the Chiefs on Thursday night.
Why?
I don't want to watch them. Throw them on Thursday night. Throw them on Prime.
Why are you guys against the Chiefs?
Because they always win, and we're tired of them winning. Here's why they throw the Chiefs on Prime, and it's actually really smart marketing. You throw the Chiefs on Prime why you throw Nebraska on Peacock, because you know people are going to watch irregardless. So you know they're going to subscribe. You know they're going to purchase. You have an entire big fan base like Kansas City. You're going to toss them on Prime because you're not going to watch Chiefs football. Anybody in the Red Kingdom is going to be passionate and follow their Chiefs wherever they go and purchase and buy without hesitation. So you throw them on your streaming sites. It's actually a brilliant marketing plan. And then people like you, Chiefs fans, Husker fans like me, you get Peacock for one game, one Saturday, and then unsubscribe.
You say that, but you're not going to ante up and get Prime tonight for your Buffalo Bills.
I got to draw a line somewhere. If I don't draw a line somewhere, it's just going to be an endless, constant shelling out of revenue to get every single streaming service, because I don't see it stopping. I see streaming continually, more and more channels popping up. What's next? The NFL on Apple TV. I've already got Apple TV because I'm a big MLS guy, big soccer fan. So I've already have Apple TV.
Apple TV? Who's got that?
I have Apple TV. It's actually great. There's great programming. You'd love it.
Who are they lined up with? Is that like an NBC deal, or is that they're just kind of out?
Apple's independent. They're on their own. Yep.
Apple TV.
Apple TV. You need it. It's got great MLB programming. It's got great MLS programming.
What else?
Apple TV. We got Peacock. You got Paramount. Amazon Prime. Yeah. What's next? We should launch Extreme Sports NFL package.
Have our own TV.
Mike Will, Jim Purcell, Tyson Evronik.
We've got our hands full.
Get our game.
we got our hands full of what we do.
Start small.
I saw the bookkeeper earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And she asked me what was on my agenda for today. I kind of looked at her and gave her that stared look. I says, honey, it's Thursday. I got to come up with my blazing 5 today.
That'll pump some numbers in those books.
Yeah. She was happy with that. She says, that's all you're doing? I said, I got a couple of interviews lined up.
Yeah.
But I said, most of the day I'm going to be concerned about acquiring my Blazing 5. She says, I'm going to work.
Big Blazing 5, for those who don't know. I know we've got some new viewers today. I know we got some new listeners. Friday mornings on the show here on Huddle Up, we do our Blazing 5. We take 5 games, either college or pro. We will I put them into my 5-team parlay for the week. Mike likes to play his game straight up, but we throw our 5 picks together. You can participate as well. You can go head-to-head against us. We throw our Blazing 5 up onto Facebook for the entire universe to see how bad I do. I went 1-4 last week. We can only go up from here.
I went 3-2.
If you want to throw it, you just have to get it in there. Little jab. I did better than you. If you want to throw your picks in the comment section, want to play along each and every week, we'll go ahead and add to the Blazing 5 and make it bigger and better. But we got some new sounders. We debuted that on Monday when we reviewed the Blazing 5. Blazing 5, it's a really fun segment. We want you to be a part of it as well. So that's coming up tomorrow morning. And yes, like Mike Will said, it's Thursday. Thursday's my Blazing 5 day. We narrow the games down, and we find 5 winners for you. So I'll make them go up.
If you want to do that, if you want to drop your Blazing 5, it can be a combination of football, pro football, and college football. It can be a combination. If you want to take all 5 pro games, all 5 college games, that's all right. You want to throw that up on our Facebook site, we'll get you something if you beat us. But you got to beat both of us.
We got plenty of Extreme Sports merchandise. I might throw some of my cords, useless USB cords, into the mix. Live USB cord once used on the show.
No, we'll get you something.
We'll get some merch, yeah.
So if you want to throw your Blazing 5 on, we'll get to those tomorrow. And when we get our phone system up and running, we'll actually be able to talk to you. But until then, just go ahead and drop them on our Facebook page. And if you can beat us, but you got to beat both of us, we'll get you something. All right.
There you go.
Maybe some bucks off of dinner somewhere. Like one of our fine sponsors,
gift cards,
Bullseye,
yeah.
Bullseye Sports Bar and Grill, or one of our fine sponsors. We'll get you something lined up nice. But chances of beating us twice or beating us both are down there at that 0 to 1%, like the St. Louis Cardinals making the playoffs.
And the chances of us having back-to-back bad weeks are pretty slim to none. I think
I was 3-2 last week. That's a winning week.
That's not a winning week if you parlay it. It's still the first loser.
I'm not a parlay guy.
I love me some parlays.
Never have been a parlay guy. I usually look at myself and say, hell, I can't hit 1 in a row, now alone 5 in a row. What do you mean hit 5 in a row? I'm just happy to make a little extra cash. So 3-2, that just gets you over the hump. You got to pay the juice and just get you a little bit over the hump. So
there you go.
All right, we can't all be stars. Can all be stars. All right, it's 7:40 already. Let's get another quick news update.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start off at Husker Harvest Days, where Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen joined state lawmakers yesterday in Grand Island to hold a formal bill signing ceremony for 3 bills passed in the legislature earlier this year, 2 of which impact foreign ownership of the state's ag land. Maura Pillen also highlighted a measure to tighten land ownership protections around military installations, such as Offutt Air Force Base. Meanwhile, on the Health Watch, the first cases of West Nile virus have been detected within the Two Rivers Public Health Department. That particular district covers Buffalo, Dawson, Franklin, Gosper, Harlan, Kearney, and Phelps counties. To date, there have been fewer human cases of the West Nile virus reported this year than a year ago. Health officials continue to preach prevention tactics against mosquitoes as the best defense for the virus that can pose health complications for about 1 in 5 adults. Meanwhile, downtown Hastings will be filled with music and fun this evening with live music from Rascal Martinez, all part of the Sounds of Summer concert series that wraps up tonight in front of the Fromm Bar. Doors open up at 5, show starts at 7. Food, drinks, fun, lawn chairs highly encouraged, and the Joyride Pedal Company will also be downtown as part of the Sounds of Summer event, which we will hear much more in detail about later this morning as Courtney Davis, co-owner of the Fromm Bar, will join us on Huddle Up. Meanwhile, Central Community College has been recognized as a top performer in the 2024 Sustainable Campus Index as they secured the top spot in energy and 5th place overall internationally among associate institutions. The dedicated team at the Sustainability Department continually shares efforts such as picking up food waste for composting, managing native pollinator gardens, reducing paper usage, and promoting efficient and renewable energy usage. And a Nebraska State Trooper and K-9 have received a national honor for their work with the Nebraska State Patrol SWAT team. Trooper Austin Donner and K-9 Tilt were awarded the K-9 SWAT Deployment Award by the National Tactical Officers Association. The presentation was made Monday at their annual conference held in Kansas City. Swinging things over to Mike Will for your check on sports.
Huskers and the Panthers of Northern Iowa coming up on Saturday. Through 2 games, Huskers have shown the ability to control the clock with a balanced offensive attack. Nebraska averaging 186 yards per game on the ground, throwing for 234. On defense, they're giving up only 36 yards per game rushing while holding both of their opponents to 10 points or less. Kickoff on Saturday at 6:30 at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. You can see that on BTN. The Nebraska volleyball team will host the Nebraska Classic this weekend. Huskers will play Arizona State on Friday at 7, then will face Wichita State on Saturday at 2. The Nebraska women's soccer team will open the conference season tonight at Iowa. The Huskers are 3-3 on the season. The Hawkeyes are 4-0-2. Game time will be at 7. The Nebraska baseball team has received a commitment from the son of a former pitcher of the Creighton Blue Jays. Colton Remick committed to the Huskers yesterday. Remick is a right-handed pitcher who can also play in the infield and the outfield. The 2026 recruit was also receiving interest from Creighton, Minnesota, and Southern Illinois. He's considered to be the number 10 recruit in his class in the state of Iowa. His father was an outfielder and left-handed pitcher for the Blue Jays from 2007 to 2010. Hastings College men's soccer team lost to Kansas Wesleyan 2-1 last night. The Broncos now 1-5 on the season. Women's team, they beat Ottawa 1-0. The Broncos are now 4-1-1. Both teams will play host to Tabor coming up on Saturday. High school football tonight. Amherst will play at Centura. Grand Island is at Lincoln East, and Kearney will play at Millard South. Yankees beat the Royals last night by a score of 4-3. Kansas City opens up a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates on Friday.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Sunny, warm, and breezy on this Thursday. Hey, everybody. Tim Jones, Nebraska Community TV. Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 86. We'll see some southeast winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour, increasing to 15 to 20 with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. That's right. It's wind season here in south central Nebraska. Overnight tonight, clear skies, diminishing winds, a low of 62. Friday, plenty of sunshine, a high of 86. A chance of showers and thunderstorms Friday night and 80s through the weekend.
Right now, winds blowing out of the southeast at 9, gusting to 20. We've got mostly sunny skies. It's now 61 in Hastings here at the Extreme Sports Studios. 7:45. Great, the winds are gusting. I just got a new siding put on my house yesterday.
Oh, I thought you said you were going out golfing.
No, I got new siding on it. I hope this company that I hired has some sort of a guarantee that this stuff is going to stay on. Could be a shoddy company. Could be a shoddy company that I hired to get my siding on.
Hopefully.
Did you see this? The tip-off for the 2024-2025 basketball season. Remember they used to have big doings inside Pinnacle Bank Arena for the Husker men and the
they're
women.
out in the Haymarket.
Yeah, they're going to move it outside Haymarket in the rail yard, just outside PBA. The interactive, fan-friendly event will start at 7 o'clock and includes both the Husker men
little bit more about it, needed a little bit more about the planning and the organization and all the details you need. So I went right to the source. Co-owner of the From Bar, Courtney Davis, had a chance to catch up with her earlier this week. And we are back this morning on Huddle Up as we spend a few good minutes talking about some of the local events that are happening in the community of Hastings. And one exciting event that I'm looking forward to coming up later on this evening over in downtown Hastings, right in front of the From Bar, a local favorite coming back to play. It's all part of a summer concert series that's been going on in downtown Hastings. It's Concert Week, and we get to welcome in Rascal Martinez. Rascal Martinez, not the guest. Courtney Davis, one of the organizers and co-owners of the From Bar, joining us here on the show. And first of all, Courtney, delighted to bring you on the program, and know that you've been grinning ear to ear this week, and certainly are excited to have Rascal back in the Hastings community and playing for downtown Hastings tonight. Talk about what's going on.
Yes, we're very excited. So it's a free concert. That's the most important thing to know. So bring your friends, bring your family, get out. The weather should be pretty nice. Hopefully we'll have some shade where we're at. So we're going to be on Hastings Avenue, like you said, in front of From Bar, between 1st and 2nd Street there. So Murphy's Wagon Wheel will be out with burgers and pulled pork. And then we'll have a whole bunch of different things to drink for purchase. So bring cash if that's something that you can do easily to keep the lines moving. Otherwise, we will take card and Venmo. But the gates open at 5, and Rascal will start playing promptly at 7, and he'll play for about 2 hours. So, and then we're excited to kind of also help the Sky Bar, the new Sky Bar downtown, kind of celebrate opening. So after Rascal's done, they're inviting everybody to go up there and check that out. So
Outstanding. Sounds like a fun time in the downtown community of Hastings. As far as organization and putting together these events, and commend you for this. You guys have done a good job knowing that Nebraska does bring some with it, a wild card in the weather forecast. This has been a rain or shine event since the word go. There are contingency plans in place, but talk about putting on an event like this, putting on a concert series, and the work that goes on behind it.
Yes, well, we partnered with Nathan and Jesse Haft, the owners of First Street, and that's been really exciting. They have a lot of experience in this, so they've been a wealth of knowledge for us. And then the Hastings Convention and Visitors Bureau was kind enough to be kind of our largest sponsor, but we've also leaned on a lot of other businesses that have been very supportive. So Frank Michelik with Edward Jones was our last stage sponsor for the July event, and then Okeson Steiner and Tom Dinsdale will be our stage sponsors for this coming event. So lots of other businesses other than that, but those were our main sponsors, and we're very grateful to them. We want to bring people downtown. We want to showcase what we have. And then, of course, getting to bring a great artist like Rascal in is exciting.
And exciting in the fact that, yes, we want to get the Hastings community out and together in downtown Hastings, but Rascal brings with him a following wherever he goes. So we're going to have plenty of guests, and this is a really good opportunity to shine a spotlight on one of the treasures of the Hastings community, that downtown area. That's got to be another added bonus to bringing a guy like Rascal in.
Yes, I mean, we're very passionate about town, as business owners downtown, and there's a lot of exciting things happening. There's been a lot of people who have been the, champions of downtown Hastings for a few decades now, and they've worked really hard to get federal and state dollars in to improve what we have. So it's kind of a good place to be a small business owner, because there's a lot of, support outside of just people coming into our establishments. There's those groups that truly care about the infrastructure of downtown and improving it. So we'll have local beer. So we'll have First Street beer and Steeple beer at the event for purchase, as well as just some other domestics. And then of course supporting, a place like Murphy's at the same time. And, we welcome people to bring food from other downtown restaurants too. Stop at Odyssey and pick up some food and bring it down, get a sandwich from Dally's or Jimmy John's. I'm not sure on what back alleys hours are, I guess, but if you stop by any of those places, we're welcoming any outside food. So no outside drinks, but outside food is of course welcome.
Well, if you didn't have me at Rascal, you had me at beer. If you didn't have me at beer, you had me at Murphy's. Several of good opportunities for your taste buds coming up here later on tonight in downtown Hastings. Sounds of the Summer as far as the reception has been thus far, is this something that you guys foresee putting on and making even bigger and better into the future?
Hopefully. I think it's going to depend a lot how Thursday goes. Sure. So we're hopeful to do that, and I think attendance will help that. Dante Bullhauer Media is going to be out. He was out at our last event doing some great videos and pictures for us just to kind of showcase the fun. So I'm grateful to him for donating his time to do that. So I think, hopefully the turnout is good, and that will help.
Again, Courtney Davis, the co-owner of the From Bar, joining us here on Huddle Up as we continue to talk about the sounds of the Summer Downtown Concert Series. Another headliner tonight in Rascal Martinez going to be playing. As far as social media information is concerned, if they want more info on the event, where is their best avenue to turn to?
So we have a social media page, and Vaughn's Printing was kind enough to donate the marketing hours and everything there. So it's just, I think, Summer Sounds, easy to find. We've been sharing it a lot from Bar's page. First Street's been sharing it. So you should be able to find it pretty easily on Facebook. And then there's been, we were on the news, so I know the news has a link to the story. We were on KHAS, so there's been some good advertising.
You've hit on one really important facet that I think that is just really unique to this Hastings community. You mentioned all of the hands that have come in to help, whether it's video, whether it's marketing materials. This is such a tight-knit community here in Hastings. Talk about the support that you have, from everybody in this community in helping put on an event like this.
Yes, I think it's great when you can just text or call a fellow business owner and say, hey, Maggie with Vaughn's, would you be willing to donate your time for this? And we sat down with Jesse and had coffee, and just putting our heads together and making it free was really the priority. We have great music that comes to Hastings through the Lark and some other opportunities, but sometimes the ticket prices, can be a burden to some people. So just being able to rely on businesses to support us so that we can have this go on is great.
Summer Sounds, again, coming up tonight in front of the From Bar with Rascal Martinez. We've got a good opportunity to get your taste buds filled as well with some local beer and great food. And Courtney Davis, again, joining us here on Huddle Up. And one last question, and this is really important, as co-owner of the From Bar. I'm a coffee guy, huge coffee guy, 2 cups before the morning show even starts. What's the recommendation from the From Bar? What's my go-to coffee going to be on Friday morning?
Friday morning, you need to try one of our new ones.
Okay.
So we're actually doing a sweet potato latte this fall. So one of our awesome baristas, Joe, was the curator of that, and so try that on Friday morning.
Sweet potato. That sounds amazing. Courtney, it's been a pleasure to bring you on the show today, and we wish you the best moving forward this evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there tonight.
Thank you. Come join us.
All right, a big special event going on in downtown Hastings tonight. Beer, food, and great music. You can't put anything together any better than that. Should be a great time.
And Rascal, like I said in the interview, he brings a following. I've seen him play a couple of different times in Grand Island. He's a local favorite out there as well. Just really great musician, and like I mentioned, fan favorite. So he should bring a pretty big crowd just by himself as a musician. But then you throw in all of the other goodies that are going to be going on in downtown, and including the local flavor with the local breweries, First Street Steeple, all the food from downtown. Should be a fun night. So excited to be downtown. I'll actually be working downtown at the event. So come see us, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can throw a plug in. We don't care. We don't have any bosses here.
I'm beer tending over at First Street tonight. So come on, swing down, see me.
Yeah, you can do that on the show.
Well, thank you.
Right.
I like free plugs.
Free plugs.
Not used to being on a headset and a microphone and being able to just throw out free plugs willy-nilly like that, so this is kind of fun.
You can do anything you want.
I like it.
You don't get drug into the boss's office around here. No, you're on your own. You don't get drug into the boss's office on this show. So
that's right.
Rascal Martinez, he was down at the Heartland County Reservoir over the summer.
Yep.
He appeared down there as well, jammed the place.
Nice.
Everybody loves him. So that's a special event. What time's that getting underway again?
Doors open at 5. Show starts promptly at 7. Rain or shine.
No, the doors really don't open.
The downtown opens up. Let's say
doors,
at 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's not like we open the doors and you
get
can come
social at 5 p.m.
They'll get underway somewhere around 5 o'clock.
Get social at 4 p.m. if you want to have a happy hour.
Yeah, you can come on down for happy hour.
Yeah.
I was more interested in maybe that sweet potato coffee.
Sweet potato latte. We're going to give it a try. I'm going to throw it on for the morning show for tomorrow and head over to the Fron Bar after we wrap up, and we'll have a taste evaluation come Monday.
Sweet potato.
Like what does Bucket over at Barstool Portney does the pizza challenge? We can do a coffee challenge. One sip. Everybody knows the rules.
Well, you're a big coffee guy, so you can probably
coffee.
do that.
Yeah, coffee every single morning. Sweet potato latte. Could be interesting.
That would be.
Sounds like it could be a good combination, though. I'm excited. I like new and different ideas when it comes to the flavor of coffee. But I'm also the same guy, and I say that saying that I'm the same guy that's going to go into a coffee shop and look at all of the different flavors and combinations and ways that you can make coffee and be like, do you have a medium Folgers? Depending on the morning.
After all she does, he's got all these different makes and models, and you just take me a Folgers, please.
I just need a regular medium roast. Medium roast. That's all we need. Sometimes I get like that, but there's the wild hairs. I think Fridays in particular, I like to let what little hair I have down and try something new and try something wild. So I'm gonna go with it. After the show wraps up tomorrow, sweet potato latte is mine.
Are you one of those guys that stand there and look at the offerings and you can't make a decision and you stand there forever before you say, "Oh, just give me that Folgers up there."
No.
You stand up there for like 10 minutes while she's got people backed up behind you wanting to put in their orders, and you're standing up there and you can't make your decision. Like Harriet in the grocery store looking at the bread. Mm-hmm. No. What kind of bread do you need? Pull it off of the shelf and put it in your damn cart and get out of the way.
I hate lines. I hate lines, and I hate being the one that is causing a line to build up. I actually, and this is like a social anxiety thing, I get anxious when I'm in line, so I like to do my homework ahead of time. If you have an online menu, I am going to check that out and maybe get like down to 1 or 2 selections so that when I'm in line, I can finally make that determination on what I'm feeling like at the time. But I do homework before. That's why I asked her. That's why I said, hey, what's your recommendation? Because I'm going to go into this place, I'm going to see a menu and freeze like a deer in the headlights, so I need a couple recommendations to steer me, and anytime I can get that, we're rolling with it. So there's sometimes I go and I'm in line and I get up to the counter and they're like, what would you like? And I'm like, what would you think that I'd like? Make that, please. And just ask for them to make it. Chef's choice. I love giving the barista's choice at coffee shops.
In the meantime, I'm wanting to know what Harriet is looking at in the bread aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking at this bread or this bread or this bread.
It's not like produce. You don't feel around the bread to see if it's ripe.
Get the bread and put it in your cart and get out of the way.
Get out of the line. You ever see that comedian? I don't know if he's still living, but he had a great bit on lines. Just a great bit on like lunch buffets. John Perney was his name. Get out of the line. It was so great. I'll have to show it to you. I'll share it to you.
And Harriet usually parks her cart on the opposite side of the aisle.
So that you
she's
can't
looking
get through.
At the bread. So yeah, you can't get through.
Poor Harriet. You have ratted on this Harriet girl. We have a Harriet that's listening right now going, what did I do?
Yeah.
I made Mike mad. The worst one.
That's my pet peeve, though. My pet peeve of the day.
Your soapbox?
Yeah, people that just sit there and stare at stuff in the grocery like it's going to jump off of their shelf by itself and hop in their cart. No, grab it off the shelf and get out of the way.
I'll add to it as we go into OT here on Huddle Up today. The lines, the worst one is the lottery ticket guy at the gas station. And y'all know who I'm talking about. It's the guy that you get up and you're second in line and you're late for work. And so you're just trying to fill up and get a quick soda before you hit out the door and get rolling. And you get behind the lottery ticket guy.
And he wants to play.
I'll have 9 numbered 7s, 15. Okay, what's that leave me with? Well, you have $2 left. Okay, well, then I'll need 2 number 2s. And then he gets the lottery tickets. and he doesn't move. He pulls a quarter out of his pocket, and then I say, oh no, we're gonna squeeze on by you, buddy. I gotta go.
Yeah, you're not going to scratch off those 32 tickets
in line. Not happening.
Go over here by the mustard section.
Get out of the line.
Get out of the way.
Move.
All right,
I gotta go.
We are running overtime again. We might have to start this show early.
Oh no.
No. You have a hard enough time making 7 o'clock.
It was 7. Well, instead of pot kettle black, because I called baseball out to start earlier, and we call this out to start earlier. If we started at 7 and we ran till 8:30, that would be more ideal for my morning routine. 7 o'clock is like money. Anything earlier, we'd be testing the.
I know. I worked with you once when we had our first conversation at 6:30.
Yeah, that's about when I got up and got to work. Within about a 5-minute window. You say, what's going on in news? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
I just got here.
That'll wrap it up.
We'll keep it 7 to 8. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Friday, so that means we'll have our Blazing 5 tomorrow with a lot of other news, weather, and sports and interesting stuff to talk about. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors about us. We'd love to have you join us each and every morning on the Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. So have yourself a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on